Welcome to a new sonic dimension.
Greetings. This is Chester with the Sampleist, and our sonic journey today is Sonuscore's Horizon Leads. Before we dive in, I'd like to make it crystal clear that the copy of this library we're reviewing was graciously provided to us by the developer. However, let me assure you that our commitment to delivering honest and transparent reviews remains unwavering. Our goal is to arm you with all the information you need to decide if this library deserves a spot in your musical toolkit. Sonuscore, known for their innovation in musical instruments, brings us Horizon Leads. This isn't just another sample library. It's a groundbreaking synth experiment that blends synthesizers with Hollywood scoring aesthetics. Priced at $99 with a multitude of crossgrade options. Seriously, if you're a holder of other certain Sonuscore libraries, check their website. There might be a great crossgrade option for you. Horizon Leads is an affordable entry into high-end cinematic soundscapes. Horizon Leads fills a unique niche in that it provides cinematic synth leads that are both expressive and versatile. It's a bridge between traditional scoring and modern synth-driven soundtracks, adding an invaluable layer to your compositions. Horizon Leads boast 80 freely playable synth instruments and 150 cinematic themes. Whether you're crafting an ambient track or a blockbuster score, these sounds offer both shimmer and emotional depth. Horizon Leads stands out with its ensemble engine, enabling pulsating rhythms and animated themes. What's that? You can play complex patterns with simple chords? Yep. And it's not just about the sounds, it's about how easily they can be manipulated and integrated into your tracks. In terms of technical specs, Horizon Leads requires over 1.9 gigabytes of sample content and works with Contact Player 7.5.0 or higher. It is supported with the free Contact Player and is NKS compatible. Let's give a special shout out and thank you to Tobias Menguzer, a veteran in sound design. His expertise shines through in every aspect of Horizon Leads, from its cinematic punch to its nuanced textures. Let's now explore the presets this library has to offer. All right, let's dive into some presets with Horizon Leads. As we can see in Contact 7, Horizon Leads shows up and all our presets are on the side here. When we click on them, we can hear a sample of them, which is pretty nifty. You can also save your patches as you like them, and I do like that one, so I'll save it. Let's open it up. This looks awesome. What a fun interface, especially when you start using the mod wheel. You see outer space, you're flying through it. That's kind of fun. Endless amount of fun there when I first noticed that. So your presets are here. I'm going to click on those. They call them themes. You got your initialize called empty, and then you have all your 156 themes. You can save them. As you can see, I've been saving quite a few that I really like, so I can go back to them when I need. What's really helpful is that all of these categories that you can select, you have category, type, feel, character, and these will help you navigate if you want it noisy, you want a monophonic, and you get, 6 to choose from out of 156. Then you can click on these. Decide if that's the one you want. You can save that if you like it, or you can go to the next one. Great time saver. Helped me in a crunch. I was able to even work on the song that we're about to play in a bit and got all the patches and presets I needed within a moment's time, and can lose valuable creative time if you're diving through menus and things like that. So this really helps get the most out of these 156 themes that they provide you. I'll dive into these themes in a bit. Where I really want to go though next is I want to talk about these sample sources they provide. I think they're fantastic. I think they're awesome. And I'd like to dive into them a bit so that you can hear where all these themes are coming from and how they're getting created. I didn't get to save my favorites here. I would like to, maybe one day, but what is cool is it grays out the ones that are already being used so that you're not duplicating that, which could be a limitation to some. Maybe you wanted this plucked FM and you want to do something with it differently, switch the octave or do something effects wise with it, but no biggie. A lot of these sounds you can find similarities with them and kind of go that approach too. These are, I believe, like solos and mutes. Down here you can choose monophonic or polyphonic, so if I want chords on this, that's where I get that. So I'm going to keep it monophonic for a bit. I'm also going to increase the mod wheel a little bit. And we're only listening to the one layer, the first layer here, because we have it soloed. As you go through these, you can hear all the original sample sources and layers that you can use to create your leads. And they're all really awesome. In fact, in the piece later, I'll show you how you can just use one layer along with a few other Horizon lead themes to go even beyond, 4 voices to create a bigger lead. But they all blend really well together. They play nice. They have great characteristics and movement. Like that one, for example, has a lot of really fun movement in it. The characteristics that you're getting on these are really awesome. They just sound like they can blend in a mix really well and also probably even pop out of a mix. That one's a lot of fun. I use that one later on. So a lot of... And that movement, if you pair that with another one, so if I have that, now I want to try another sound with it. Let's go. Might need mix, yeah. Mix down here is the mixer. We'll go in that in a second. We'll finish up what we're kind of doing here on this first. So here I have brass tapes. So that's what's fun about this is I got this organic lead patch which has a lot of texture. A little bit of tonalness, but that's not kind of the goal of it. It's just a lot of texture. So this next one I'm going to bring in has tonal characteristics, so kind of helps it out a little bit. And you can grab some of these dirt noise layers. You can add that in and kind of have some fun. These dirt noise layers also include some good percussive or more like transient that you can add in to have a lot of fun with that. Now down here are the arpeggiators, and you can choose them here. So if I want one to have an arpeggiator, let's have actually two have an arpeggiator. Each voice or layer here can have its own arpeggiator, and you can select that layer and it'll kind of explain how the arpeggiator is all set up, decide the time, humanize it, which is really cool. You can A, B. What I really like is you have a range here where the middle, it's telling you where it is on the mod wheel. And then your top and bottom, you're setting a range. So bottom of the mod wheel is going to hit the bottom there, and then it's going to be top. You can also inverse it, which that's what we see this one is. Really cool, like incredible. This is a lot of fun. You can also apply some swing on it if you want. Now over here, we'll get to this mixer window. Did kind of see it a little bit when I was turning up the level of sunlight. I can assign the contact outs if I want, or leave them to default, and they can all go kind of as you have them. So if you want all 4 of your layers to go through different contact outputs, you can set up contact for that. Again, we have the mutes and the solos. Delay on each layer as you want to dial that in. Motion, whenever you select this goes to the mod wheel. You'll see it throughout the UI. So anytime you see motion, you can select that. It will now assign the mod wheel, and then you can assign these high and lows. You can also inverse them. That's what this is. This is inverse the mod wheel. We have a reverb, we have pan on each, and then we have our levels we can set. Here's a global compressor. If we want to engage that, that'll compress all the layers at the end. Also a global delay and a global reverb. Delay, you get some presets here to use if you'd like, along with some settings. Same with reverb, except with reverb, you get to choose one of 4 reverbs and then the presets of the reverb you're choosing. Down here is a drag and drop feature. And so if I play the DAW and I start playing like the chords or what I'm looking to play, and then I stop, now I can drag and drop that into the DAW and I can kind of have it play there, which is pretty nifty and helpful. Again, the monopoly is there. Here's some further settings on CC messages that you can kind of select and choose how you want that to go. There's a pan engine here, which is kind of cool. You get 2 that you can enable, and then you can kind of set it up how you want it. A lot goes into making a theme that you can save in Horizon Leads. With that said, let's now dive in, because I think these elements in these patches are going to make more sense to us. Okay, so let's start with the poly-animated themes. We're going to go with Airy Fuse. There's a really fun characteristic here. I think I'll see it in the mixer. I think it's the Marcato FM. Yeah, do you see how it dies out? You'll hold. So every time you do a chord change, so they'll come in and come out. It sounds awesome. That's really cool. Let's go to Blizzard. Yeah, that one's good. What's great about Horizon Leads is it's tempo synced. So we're gonna go like 150 here. Just easy to work with. We'll go to 90 now, make it slower. Doesn't lose a beat, you know, which is really nice. Something that it can work with you. All right, let's look at a few more IDM textures. You'll hear this throughout. They're not labeled specifically, but some of these are actually percussion-like, synth percussion-like patches and presets, and great for like movement and sequences and things like that. Maze of N. Let's listen to that one. Some great sequences for tension cues or any other cinematic offerings you need to be composing for. also, I'm going to dial that back a little bit. Another fun tension like sequence. So you can use these characters and these feels if I want a slower feel. So I'm going to hit the 8th notes, then I can grab one of these. But maybe I want to look for energetic. Yeah, that's fun. All right, let's start looking at playable poly, where they're talking about polyphonic themes. So that would mean poly down here is enabled, and then I can play chords. I think there's a great balance between analog and digital synth that you can hear in each theme. What I mean by that is I can definitely hear some digital noise that's very tasteful and appealing. Even when I'm choosing some of these, I kind of choose based on that a little bit. I'll hear and that one has some wobble to it. Check out Razor Boy. There's that wobble again. Let's do one more. What I'm going to do here is also we're going to look at it. How it kind of works. I like going to the mixer for that. Another thing we haven't looked at is this effects. And if you click down here, you can see some of the effects that are happening on this layer specifically. So let's solo this. You can set up a nice low cut here. You can decide where the sample start is. Click sustain, which sustains the note, or the patch I should say. And you can turn it off, and now it's kind of cool that it's saying it toggles the ADSR. So do you want sustain or do you not? That's kind of cool. Just quick, nice, simple way of going about it. Then you have your attack and your release here. You can set those, and then motion. So I'm assuming that means I can use my mod wheel now and impacts my attack. This one would impact my release. Then I have some effects here. I can do crunch so I can apply that distortion. And then there's some options here, like preset options. Use motion again to decide if I want it as part of the, we have a filter, nice low pass, and then amp, set tremolo, volume, bass, treble. So a little EQ here. Output, put that there, and then I can go to the next one. That's very handy. We're gonna go to playable monophonic patches now. I like that they grade this out too. No feel, no rhythmic, no, this very smart. No sinister. But you can get some brights, we can get, and then darkens out more. Bright and calm. There's one right there. Hear that release? That's cool. Haunting single note. We obviously need to hear what that is. Release on that one plays a cool thing too. Let's keep going. We'll do some of these short presets now. Robot playing piano. I really think the Horizon lead sounds really great in the mid-range and the low range. You got left hand, right hand kind of rocking. When you go up here to the high range, at C5 to C6, you really hear some of that noise, that digital noise, kind of like noise floor that's going probably through the gear. And it's more there than almost the tones themselves. There's something about that that's going to give you kind of something when you're going through these. You're probably going to find that some of them play really well up there and are going to give you something of what you need versus what they can do down here in that mid-range, where you don't really hear that so much. The tones seem to be overpowering the noise. That sounds awesome. VHS. Now we got monophonic shorts. You know, I was wondering when I would come and find myself hearing a delay like that. Bells, the synth bells sound really great. The synth brass patches that you're going to be able to choose from sound really awesome too for options. And then you have user presets where you can save your own. And I'm looking forward to spend some time doing that. So yeah, those are the presets. Let's now listen to the track we made with Horizon Leads. Let's look at the piece here. So this track is called Temporal Descent. One thing I would like to just start to say is it's very intimidating writing a song specifically when the criteria is synthesizer library. You can go anywhere. Synthesizers are so versatile. Such an excellent instrument. And you can go anywhere. I could have went techno or trance or ambient or, cinematic. The list goes on. And then when cinematic, it's like, do I want sci-fi? Do I want dark? Do I want bright? Oh my goodness, you just go anywhere. So that's why I wanted to bring that up, because Horizon Leads kind of spoke for itself a little bit. It is very cinematic in its approach. You can get a lot going on when you just fill up your template with it and just see what comes out. That's exactly what happened here. So I started with a simple chord progression. Like most pieces, we have a B flat, F, C, D minor. That's in rotation. And then it's a A theme. So when I first wrote it, I believe I have one of these just chord. It's not that one. I think it's this one. Yep. Just like a pad. And we are using Horizon Leads, the sharp vinyl lead. I really like it's just dusty. It's full of just really flavorful noise and saturation, and it's fuzzy. It's got a lot of great tone to it. So I thought that could carry this chord progression, and it hits the chord changes really nicely. Does its job as a great backbone to the whole piece. My next idea was, let's get a fun kind of idea that's got some rhythm to it, but also some melody just kind of leads the way. So I don't believe I have any pure melody going on, except maybe something you'll hear through the chord progression or through the piece, but no strong melodies is kind of what I'm saying. I did try a few ideas, just nothing kind of came out, except for this would be the closest. It's more like my theme. First, I had it kind of repeating, and then I had it kind of doing what it's doing here at the end, where it's following the chord progression now. And then I just arranged it a little bit and made it kind of work how it is. So those two parts, and then everything else is just kind of layering it in. I'm going to do something here. This is how I kind of look at it. Briefly mention this in the preset walkthrough. All right, and then I think of it this way. Horizon leads. I'm going to lower all this. I'm going to have long patches or sustained patches. I'm going to have those. I'm going to have short patches or like arpeggiated melodic lines. Sustained can also mean monophonic melody, by the way, chordal or monophonic melody, anything like that. But the synth is sustaining its notes, and these are short. They're plucky. They're not sustaining. Not always plucky, but they're short. Then there's going to be sequences. You're going to have rhythmic elements moving around, things like that. But you're also going to have percussion. There are some really great percussion or kind of sequence-like percussion sounds through Horizon leads. The other one you're going to have is like this tonal hit, which is like a one shot. You can call it tonal hit, you can call it one shots, just kind of however you want there. And that ultimately is kind of what I saw make up this library. Yeah, so then I would group all of these together, call this Horizon leads. This in my library now, and then I can pick and choose. I can duplicate these because I will have them processed, be like a synth percussion loop or maybe like a synth sequence or a synth short. I will focus on processing these a little bit like how I like them. That's kind of how I thought about this library and how it helped me organize it so I can start grabbing the elements I needed to compose the pieces. I do like the browser, and I did find patches pretty easily through it. I was able to also star and save a few of the ones I liked. Or they call them themes. Saving these was pretty easy. Going through and looking through the types and characteristics and themes are pretty easy. If I wanted warm, I found warm. Noisy worked well, and finding these elements and shortening these down to what you need worked out pretty well. So definitely use that to your advantage if you're diving into the presets. Let's go up here. The next things I added were these percussion elements. And process them a little bit. We had IDM textures here. The other one I have is, let's see, space. That was a great one. Together, those sound like that. And they kind of work off each other really well. This one back here, I think, is space, but slower. So I took this space, I went into ARP, and then I put it to halftime and made it its own track. Sounds really good. I kind of wanted this part to be slower a little bit, but this long has some arpeggiated elements that are going kind of fast, probably in this toy glass piano. All right, moving on. Created a pedal tone here at the end, just kind of at the ending. Found a sound that just sang out with the mix pretty well, but also stayed kind of in the background a little bit so it wasn't overbearing. That pedal tone still comes through pretty nicely with the frequencies I wanted, so worked out. Then I added this later on, this other arpeggiated idea. So they can kind of dance off each other. And then I got a little pan man moving it around the stereo spectrum. Another thing I wanted to show was, I thought, well, let's bring out some fun stereo elements and then just make really wide kind of stereo synth at the very end. So I took parts of the chord, gave it to a left and a right, panned it all the way, and this is where I feel the strength of Horizon leads lies, is in these source samples and these source sounds. So I went through, and I would really like to favor these if I could, but I went through and found some of the elements I wanted to build kind of on the sides. And the first one was this formant organ. Sounds really awesome. So we added that, and then on the right, I added something else that just had a lot of movement, and I thought it would be fun to add, and that's this Jacob vinyl ladder and organic leads. Put it all the way to the right, and that sounded really cool. So I had those two going together. As part of this. So gave them home on the wide areas of the spectrum, just so that they can kind of live there and make some movement and add to the tone. Thicken it up a bit at the very end. Wanted to get like a sequence in here, and I really liked how this sounded for the bass line. You'll hear it better here. Intro, but here we have it really hyped up. I like the hits that happen with it. Sounds awesome. And that's all the use I had out of Horizon leads. The rest of the piece was mostly, I do feel I could use Horizon leads a bit more for these parts. I think I was just in a rush looking to get the track done. So like in effects, for example, some of these risers and whooshes, I probably could have built some of that through leads for sure and added some reverbs and some elements. To grow some of these parts. And I have a downer in here. Just get that break kind of going. This Brunel loop worked really well. And it plays really well with the mix. It just kind of found its way in accidentally, but worked perfectly. Just got a soft impact here in the middle. Real small, soft hit, and then some drums at the end just to create that cinematic element, create movement, and kind of add to the spectrum a little bit more than without it. Kind of worked out really well. And then I have some impacts just in between parts. And yeah, that was the track. It's time to wrap up our journey with some final reflections. It's not just another sample library for our composer toolkit, it's a gateway to new creative possibilities. With its blend of cinematic flair and synth versatility, Horizon Leads offers something truly special for composers and producers alike. The ease of use combined with the depth of sound manipulation makes Horizon Leads a standout choice. Whether you're a seasoned composer or just starting out, this library offers something for you. Its ability to inject emotion and energy into compositions on and off the screen cannot be overstated. In conclusion, Sonuscore's Horizon Leads is more than just a worthy addition to your composer toolkit. It's a source of inspiration and a catalyst for creativity. It earns my stamp of approval for anyone looking to elevate their musical storytelling through synthesizers. This is Chester, signing off from the Sampleist, and I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you're hungry for more insightful reviews, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to stay tuned with all things the Sampleist. Until our paths cross again, keep having fun making your music. Cheers.